It's like 2 a.m. right now, and no matter what I do, I can't sleep. I don't know why I do this to myself. This week I've got the house all to myself. I dropped Nancy off at the airport yesterday for a well-deserved sister's trip to Cabo. And so, what do you think I decided to do with my free week in the hottest vacation destination in the US? 3-day water fast. And I know that sounds a bit extreme, but I've got good reason. See, back in 2020, right before the whole world went on house arrest, I was in pretty good shape. And I don't know how lockdown was for you, so I apologize if you had a really rough go of it, but I had an absolute blast. My business was booming, and being stuck at home all day offered a really easy excuse for Nancy and I to do a lot of 2 o'clock happy hours and my bottomless mimosa weekends in the living room. We ordered Uber Eats with reckless abandon, no consideration for the consequences, and as the months went by, it started to show. Since then, I've really struggled to get the weight off, but the tipping point for me came when I saw a picture of myself last summer at a pool party. I was disgusted with myself. So this year, I've challenged myself to lose 25 pounds in 2025, and it's been going really good so far. I'm down about 15 pounds, and I want to get the other 10 pounds off before I go on vacation at the end of this month. And while a 3-day water fast really isn't meant for weight loss, it does have a whole lot of other really great benefits, like reducing inflammation, boosting your immune system, improving insulin sensitivity. Basically, if you suffer from any of the most common health problems in America today, a water fast can be a huge benefit. But the biggest benefit, and the reason that I'm doing it, is something called autophagy. Yeah, it's fancy. Autophagy is like recycling, but at the cellular level. When you fast for more than 48 hours, your body starts to break down damaged cells and protein for fuel. And by limiting the fast to just 3 days, you don't risk losing a lot of muscle mass, which is really great for a guy like me who's trying to hold on to every last ounce of muscle that I've got. And even though I said a water fast isn't really about weight loss, I know that y'all are going to ask me about it, so on day one, I went ahead and jumped on the scale. Okay, first things first, I'm going to get a starting weight. I came in at a respectable 203 pounds, which is, as I said, 15 pounds lighter than when I started my journey on January 5th. Next on the agenda was to make myself a cup of coffee, and you're probably thinking to yourself, Jay, if you're on a water fast, why are you drinking coffee? Well, coffee doesn't actually break a water fast as long as you drink it black. Neither does tea, as long as you leave the milk and sugar out of it. And to be frank, I really only have 2 vices in this world, bourbon and coffee, and I absolutely refuse to give up both at the same time. So I'm going to allow myself 2 cups of coffee each day. And the caffeine is not only going to help me with the cravings, but it's also going to help me keep my sanity. At 10 a.m., I made my last meal, which was 3 eggs and sausage on a tortilla with some cheese. And this is one of the hacks that I learned after trying water fasting in the past, is that if I have my last meal at 10 a.m. rather than at dinner the night before, I tend to sleep a lot better the first night, and it means I get to break my fast at 10 a.m. on the last day rather than having to wait till dinner. And now I know in reality that it's still 72 hours without food, but for some reason mentally, it's easier for me to get through the fast if I do it this way, but just do whatever works for you. All right, so I got a pretty easy day today. It's a lot of writing. I got to write my daily email for the newsletter, and then I'm finishing a script for my other YouTube channel that is going to go out hopefully later this week or next week, but pretty chill day today. Day one was pretty uneventful. Mondays are a creative day for me, so I spent most of my time writing, answering questions from my coaching clients, and prepping for the next workshop I'm hosting. I even took a little time out to catch some sun on our roof deck. And one of the things that shocks people when they see my calendar is how much open space I have. As a solo business owner, you'd think that I'd be working 12 hours a day just to get everything done, but that's one of the real benefits of entrepreneurial minimalism and the coaching model that I use, because it allows me to maintain a really high level of productivity without working myself into an early grave. And I actually put together a free training that walks you through my exact coaching model. So if you're interested, I'll just leave a link in the description, but you should really go check it out because it's cool and, well, it's free. Super free. All right, so day one is complete. Pretty easy day today, no real hunger. I'm probably a little hungry tonight, but I'll go to sleep and hopefully I'll sleep fine. Got a lot done today. Got some email copy written and a bunch of videos recorded, so very productive day. And I was done by about 4 o'clock this afternoon, so pretty good day, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. I think tomorrow is going to be a tougher day, but we'll find out tomorrow. Now, Tuesday is a client-facing day, meaning it's one of 2 days each week that I set aside to hold Zoom calls and live coaching sessions for my clients. And for most of the day, I didn't have much hunger pain, but at around 36 hours into the fast, the cravings started to hit me hard. Okay, so I'm about 30 hours into this fast now, and I'm definitely starting to feel it. Hunger pains are there. My stomach is like rumbling. I can tell it's hungry. And one of the downsides of doing this when nobody's around is that there's actually nothing to preoccupy me, right? One of the good things is I don't have to smell Nancy's cooking or watch her drink wine, but the real downside is that there's nothing to keep me from thinking about anything other than eating. The good news is that if you've never done this before, when you hit this stage, what'll happen afterwards is eventually the hunger pains will go away. It's just a mental, your body sending signals from your stomach to your brain, and that eventually stops. So if you can just power through this first kind of phase where you're really starving, eventually it gets better. Right now it kind of sucks. I ended up going on a walk, I watched a little bit of TV, drank about a half a gallon of water, and by the time I went to bed, the hunger pains had passed, and so I was feeling really confident. And that's when it happened. All right, it's like 2 a.m. right now, and no matter what I do, I can't sleep. I have this sort of focused energy that I can't get rid of, and it's driving me crazy. I don't know why I do this to myself. It's weird because I'm incredibly tired, but I'm really focused at the same time, and my body just won't let me fall asleep. So I don't know what to do. I don't know how long this is going to last, but it's hopefully in the next hour or so I can get to sleep because I got a lot of stuff to do tomorrow, and this ain't helping. One of the big benefits of a fast is the clarity and focus that you get as your body's forced to compensate for the lack of food. And I'm told this goes back to our hunter-gatherer days when humans would have to go days without eating between kills. And during those days of scarcity, our ancestors needed this extra focus and clarity to hunt down their next meal. But one of the side effects of all of that clarity and focus is that it's difficult to sleep. Now, it doesn't happen to everybody, but it does happen to me, usually around the 48-hour mark. And it is an awful feeling because there's no remedy for it. You just have to suffer through. The next morning, my productivity sucked. I spent most of the AM curled up in a blanket watching TV. But by the afternoon, I caught a second wind and I managed to get quite a bit of work done. And by day 3, I was feeling great. All right, so it's morning of day 3 of the water fast. I feel great. I slept really good last night and about to go up and weigh in, see what the scale says. But have my morning cup of coffee and then we'll go do that. And I got a few hours left before I get to eat, and I'll show you what that's about, but let's go weigh in. Oh, 200.6 pounds, not too shabby. So the first time I did this, I lost like 6-7 pounds, something like that. It was crazy because I think I was just so out of shape. And now this time, not nearly as much, like 3 pounds. But again, like I said before, it's not really about weight loss as much as it is about all of the other health benefits and just putting you into a state of mind about getting into shape and improving your health. And so I'm really happy with that. I'm almost under the 200-pound mark, which means I've got about 7 more pounds to go. And yeah, we're just going to keep trucking. All right, so how do you break the water fast? Well, if you go online, you're going to find a ton of just like crazy advice. They'll tell you, some guys will tell you to start with a little bone broth, or maybe some vegetable juice, or maybe get one of these high water fruits like watermelon or cucumber and just start out with that to kind of let your body digest. But I mean, if you think about our ancestors, our hunter-gatherers, it was very common for them to go a few days without eating. And the last thing that they did when they slayed the buffalo or the elk was to say, hey, you know what? Maybe we should boil up some bone broth first. No, they just tore into it. But what I want to do with breaking my fast is I want to fuel my body. So keep in mind, you're already in ketosis. So your body is already using fat and burning fat for fuel. So what I want to do is give it some more of that. So I'm going to start out with a few sausage links and some string cheese. But the one thing that I'm not going to do is make this huge meal, because over the last 3 days, my stomach has shrunk quite a bit. And so there's no way I'm going to be able to eat that much. Now, if you have a sensitive stomach, maybe starting off with some juice or something to kind of get your stomach accustomed to having food in it is a good thing. But I've found that my stomach is pretty tough and I don't have a problem with it. So I'm gonna cook that stuff up now and eat it. And that's the journey. Overall, I was really happy with the results. Would I do it again? Yeah, I think there's 100% chance that I'll do it again. But between now and then, I'm gonna really focus on continuing my diet and exercise journey until I hit my goal weight of 190 pounds. So thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop them into the chat, because I do read all the comments and I really do love engaging with you all who are enjoying the content that I'm putting out. So until next time, be safe, be good. I'll see you soon.